you said you're unhappy with your grades. Is that also, like, by your own standards? Like, would your mom be unhappy with them as well?
I actually talked to my mom about this. My grades are, like, in the 70s. To most people, I think that would be an okay grade. To me, that's an awful grade. So it's like, so when I told my mom, she's like, we have really high academic standards for ourselves, and we always have, because my mom is a very intelligent person, and, like, valedictorian, kind of her college, kind of smart, which I am not. Nor have I ever tried to be, but that'd be pretty cool if I could be. So it's kind of like, I've always been held to high academics, not always, but I'm held to high academic standards, and like, not going to university, I remember saying that to my mom once, she was like, that's not an option, and then she did calm down eventually and be like, it's okay, as long as you're happy, you can work at Starbucks, and I was like, I don't think I could be very happy, I would be very mad.
Tell me more about that.
About being mad working at Starbucks?
Just about your expectations or your mom's expectations. I'm curious. I don't know exactly what question to ask, but you could just tell me more.
I used to work in a bakery, and my mom does this as well. My mom was valedictorian after class, but right now she's like kind of unemployed actually. Like, she lives in a small town in Alberta. She was going to be a medical doctor, so she had the grades for it, but then she had kids and started working like menial jobs. And I don't want to end up like that. No surprise. I mean, I don't want to like go from job to job and just get laid off because the job has run out. And so I have a high expectation of myself to have that piece of paper that can allow me to travel and get jobs wherever, which would be a big reason nursing is an option, because I could go anywhere in the world and just get a job. It wouldn't matter. It'd be like, oh, she's a nurse, let's bring her in. I don't know, and so the bakery stories, like, my mom and I were working in the bakery together. Well, she was working in another part of the grocery store, and she eventually moved up to like upper management. Like, she's really smart, but like she had to start really low, and we were both getting up at like 5 in the morning, and like it was like soul crushing to me to have to get up so early and just do like this motion all day. Like, oh, there's a bun, this bun goes there, and then lift up heavy things, and then have buns go here, and then it was just like, I can't do this. I cannot do this kind of job. I can't lift things, like I can physically do it, but I can't sit in this quiet area in this bakery and just package bread all day, because we're all too good for it. I was like working with people who spoke like 5 languages. And I just, all I could think was, none of us deserve to be here. Like, the teenagers can work here. And that's it. And once they have worked out their teenagedom, they can go and do some things. Like, people go to school to be bakers. The bakers can be bakers. The people who don't want to be bakers should not be bakers. Because I hated it so much, and I pretty much hated every job I've ever had.
Yeah.
And, like, except for the current one that I have, which is working with people and applying the stuff I'm learning, and staying up really late, but sleeping in, but now that's all messed up, because I can't sleep in, and it's terrible.
When you first started telling me that bakery story, I was hearing, like, there's no motivation for you to be there, and then as it progressed, I was like, oh, there's a very strong motivating force to get out of there. Like, it was very much like the opposite as to what we've been talking about with, like, school and
there's a motivation to stay in school so I don't have to work in a bakery, though I can't. Like, the reason I stopped working in a bakery is because I have allergy and I can't work there anymore. Though I do never want to do it again, because it's terrible.
you have a lot of reasons to be here.
Yes. I also should clarify that I can't drop any classes or get any really bad grades because my job, like I can't get below 4.0 and I have to take 4 classes because that's a requirement of my job. I'm expected to be an academic role model. Like
4.0 GPA. Are we on a 9-point
on the
scale?
9-point scale, so it's actually a really not very good grade at all, which is fine. I'm nowhere near 4.0, but it's also like in our program, it's you have to get at least a 5. I'm at a 6.3 right now, which is not optimal.
Not optimal on your
I'm gonna say it's my scale of
Your
optimism and stuff because I don't think anyone else. Honestly, I would be like, that's a good GPA. It's good grades and you're fine. And I'm like, no, it's awful. But if somebody else came to me like, oh, I have 6.3, and I'd be like, that's great.
by definition, you're not below your program or your job requirements. So
No, but I'm not happy with it. And I still get scholarships with that. Like I apply for them and I get them every year. Like I got over $10,000 last year.
wow, that's impressive.
This year I need less, so I only got a few, but
Just relaxed a little bit. Just give me a few thousand this year. I don't need that much.
it's kind of like that. It's just kind of like I don't have as much need this year, so this is how much I'm asking for. Even though my need book's greater, I only actually need this much. And with my job, I actually get paid quite a bit, so it's actually like $4 an hour instead of pennies. If you count it as working 24/7, it's not very much, but if you break it down, I get like a decent wage. It's something I can live on.
Okay. You told me a little bit about your family and about your mom.
Do you want to try a genogram? Because you're not going to be able to do it.
No, I don't want to try a genogram.
It's just both my parents and my grandparents are all divorced and remarried and with kids, and so I've
all like 4 sets of grandparents. Is that how many?
I have so like my parents are divorced and then their parents are divorced, so my grandma on my mom's side is the only one who didn't remarry, so I have like 1, 2, 3. I at one time I had 7 grandparents.